This is Kugan Cassius for iFLTV. It is the morning after here in Riyadh. Delighted to be joined by Josh Padley. I mean, I know I spoke to you the other day, but just this last few days for yourself, it just must have been like, I don't know, where your head's been. Like, just give us a summary.
Been a whirlwind on it. I haven't really had time to sit and reflect on it because it's been one thing after another. Now it's all said and done. I'm sure over the next couple of days I'll sit back and reflect and think. Obviously, I've just gone through that, but no regrets from it, and I've enjoyed it all. Shame, obviously, I couldn't pull it off because that would have been quite the upsetting statement. But like I say, no regrets, and I'm glad I rolled the dice on it.
Let's talk about the fight. Obviously, you took it to the 9th round, and then you can see kind of what was happening. Obviously, a couple of knockdowns in that round, and he was starting to get to you at that point.
Yeah, it was just body shots. There were no conditioning there. On 4 days' notice, you ain't going to have done your abs and stuff that you normally do for your 8 or your 10 or your 12 weeks. Saying that, obviously, no taking it away from Shakur. Obviously, pound for pound, 3-weight world champion. It might have even been a case that 8 weeks of abs might have not done anything, but like I say again, I'm glad I did it, and I'm gutted. Obviously, I didn't get the win, but glad I come and did it.
How do you assess Shakur's power? Someone who's been in there, like I said, you've done those rounds with him now. How do you assess his power?
The shots weren't like hurting, and like where someone actually digs one in and bruises your ribs. They were just taking the wind out every time. And then like the headshots and stuff, they weren't ever dazing me and stuff like that. It was just literally like I was getting winded every single time. But again, his punch accuracy is perfect. He was finding the shots, and even in times when I thought I'd have been able to counter his jab and stuff, he was just out of range, and then he was back in range and stuff like that. So yeah, world class fighter, isn't he?
On that last knockdown, you seemed really frustrated. You banged your hands to the canvas. What was going on in your head at that point?
It was because the shots, like I say, the shots weren't. After about 5 seconds, I were all right again. I could get the air back in, but every time it hit me in my stomach, or whatever, it was just taking everything I had in me out. So I was frustrated that the fact that why is this putting me down? Obviously, I don't want to go down. That's the first time I've ever been down in all my amateur and pro career. Like 31 amateur and 15 pro, I've never been on canvas. Even in all my spars and everything, never ever been on canvas. So it were a tough pill to swallow, and like I say, I was frustrated that I was down there on body shots that I felt like that shouldn't have put me down. Do you know what I mean? Because there were no pain afterwards. It was just the instant when he was punching me and knocking wind out of me.
You really announced yourself on the scene when you had that win over Chamberlain. I do feel like, obviously, from your performance yesterday, that you will get opportunities again here in Saudi or on the Saudi cards, whether that be at home, back in the UK. So for that reason, I think you've put yourself kind of in the mix of getting called up for fights and other fights being matched when obviously you've got the sufficient time to prepare.
Yeah, the beauty about this, obviously, it's now put me in a position that I'll be able to either go part-time or even full-time. So that when that opportunity does come calling, I'll be in a lot better position, not rolling off a building site, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm obviously grateful for that. Obviously, Turkey Al Sheikh made that happen for me. We'll see what's coming, but like I say, the future is bright.
So what's the situation with you now? Obviously, you're going to be going home soon. Are you going back to work? Does that carry on for you?
I'd hope not. I think I've obviously put myself in, like I say, in a position there now where I can become a full-time athlete. I think we're going to get another obviously fight booked in. We've got something, sort of discussions, getting something booked in within the next couple of months or whatever, or the next 5 months or something. But now that I'm in that position to be full-time, obviously the next time you see me out will be a lot better version of Josh Padley.
So, in summary, you're hoping not to go back to work, really?
Yeah, hoping not to go back to work. Hopefully that now I can fully dedicate my life to obviously boxing. Before, obviously, last 15 years of obviously my life evolved around boxing, but like anything, obviously work has to come first, obviously to pay the bills, etc., etc. but now I'll be in a position where I can fully focus on it, and that can take priority over work and stuff like that.
And that was touched on during the week, and you spoke to myself and other media outlets, and I don't think people kind of realise that it's not just yourself, Josh. There's a lot of professional boxers out there that if you're not fighting at a certain, for a certain kind of purse or at a certain level of even British title upwards regularly 3-4 times a year, like, people have jobs like this. You're not the first one. There's a lot of fighters that still look at Maxi Hughes, like, that was well documented that Maxi Hughes was going back to work, but this isn't like an unknown thing, is it?
No, I mean, when people think professional athletes and stuff like that, obviously everyone assumes loads of money, obviously loads of sponsors, endorsements, all that sort of thing, but boxing's a little bit different. On them small all shows, unless you're a massive ticket seller or massive sponsors backing and stuff like that, you don't get that opportunity, and a lot of lads do work and have to obviously come up the hard way, and obviously I'm one of them lads. Again, fortunately enough, I think I've put myself in a position now that I'll be able to step back from that and fully focus on boxing, so I'm grateful for that.
Now, during the week when you arrived there was some, I don't know if you saw, but there was some like stories going around, yeah, and you don't have to comment on them, right? But there was like some comments from Hearn, Eddie Hearn, what he said about you got whatever your purse was, but then you got bought a house, right? Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah. Now, what I think Eddie was trying to say is, from the purse that I'd get, I'd be able to buy a house, and everybody ran with it and saying that I'm getting a house. I had some of my family members saying, what house you getting?
I had this conversation with a couple of people yesterday, yeah, but genuinely people in boxing, and I was going, nah, he got bought a house. I went, no. And I spoke to Hearn about it, and Hearn said no, because Hearn's thing's always like, he wants fighters to be able to pay off a mortgage or go and buy a house, and then look, this is what boxing got me. And I know that was what Hearn meant, but then people were going, nah, Turkey's bought him a house. Right?
Nah, yeah, I seen it as well, and I was like, oh, news to me. I wonder what house I'm getting. But no, like you say, in a position now that I can look after my future and stuff like that, I'm grateful for that. That'll set me back up for being a full-time athlete.
You had some support that come over. Treasure those people, because they're your ones, the ones that come over at short notice and, you know, come to support you, because they're the ones that probably follow you all around the country and all around the world.
Yeah, some of them have obviously been from when we did like working men's clubs back in amateurs. So they've been all over, and then obviously went to Wembley, and then we still talk about that now, obviously saying how can it get any bigger than that. As soon as I'd booked my flights as soon as Matchroom had booked my flights at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, they were all booking them an hour later to arrive. I think about 15 of them come out, and I could hear them in there, do you know what I mean? So appreciate them more than anyone.
All right. Just the last one, obviously, from your situation and like Schofield, Stevenson. I mean, I don't suppose you would have ever guessed that there was a bigger storyline in terms of the co-main event, like a replacement with McCauley. I mean, I thought your story was mad. McCauley, at 2 days' notice, coming off a big off in Congo to come and fight Parker last night. It's just insane the whole week.
Yeah, no, he come and topped my short day notice, didn't he? But yeah, crazy week. Everyone, obviously, all the fights come off, and it were an amazing night. Won it, some major fights on there. Callum Smith, Boatse, well, what a fight that was. I was struggling not to look at that, and I was watching it getting like worked up. I kept having to look at my phone, but wanted to look at that at the same time. Yeah, what an event to be involved in.
Yeah, it must have been mad, because I remember sitting there watching Callum Smith and Boatse thinking, it's like here, it's like whatever time it was, really early. I was thinking, like, this is mad. This is like headline somewhere, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I was sat in changing rooms. We had a holding room, then a changing rooms, and I can remember boxing Jimmy first at Bradford Hotel, and my changing rooms were a cloakroom. We all away fighters. There were about 6-7 of us in this cloakroom, and it was like there were a passage to the girls' toilet. So every time the girls were coming by, they're all screaming, I'm trying to get in the zone. And then we are like above, like you say, Callum Smith, Boatse, all them type of fighters. It were crazy. What an experience it's been.
All right, listen, appreciate your time. safe travels home. Have you got anything else you'd like to say, Josh, before we finish?
No, just thank you. Thank you to Turkey Al Sheikh for the opportunity. Thank you to everybody at home who's tuned in and supported, and all the nice messages I've had on social media and stuff. Means a lot. Thank you very much.
Josh Padley, thank you very much for your time this week, and like I said, get home safe, and whatever opportunities come for you, you deserve it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much.